I'm showing my age now, but there was a show when I was a kid called The $6 Million Man. This the bionic man, Steve Austin, and he was basically an astronaut that basically got burned up on reentry, and the government. He was like a vegetable case, and the government said, "Wait a minute, let's use him. You know, he gave us the right to use his body for science, so let's make it robotic." And they gave him like a robotic arm and an eye, and I think he could hear well. They gave it like some new implants. Anyway, this guy was mostly human. He just had some android accoutrement, as the French would say. But at one point, and he had this boss. His boss, I guess he was CIA. Nobody ever knew. But his name was Oscar Goldman. And Oscar Goldman, you got the feeling of watching the show like they were in some kind of department of the CIA that had shot their whole budget on rebuilding Steve Austin. And it's like they relied on him way too much. It's like we spent $6 million out of our $8 million budget to put you together. Now you got to make up for the slack, because they would use him against things that should have taken like a whole battalion of troops to do. At one point he goes to the Northwest, to I think it's Washington State, and he encounters Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and I'm like, just because a guy has a little more strength in his arm and he can see a lot better, that doesn't necessarily make him capable of taking on Sasquatch. I mean, it seemed to me like they were putting an unfair burden on the $6 Million Man. I always felt like some rickety nightclub owner that, he's got some chick, it's a, working the counter, and she's supposed to be the bartender, but he also wants her to be the cocktail waitress, and it's like, we spent all our whole budget on getting this place. Now, you employees are going to have to step it up, and, I felt like they were putting way too much pressure on Steve Austin.